Hello, today I would like to talk about various interesting topics such as the reason why modern medicine is ineffective, personalized care, the issue with long waiting times when having to see a doctor, as well as organ transplants and three-dimensional printers to print living tissue and cells and all that stuff. So modern medicine is ineffective. For example, David Sinclair talks about a person in Thailand who had cancer, and modern medicine just wouldn't help him. And doctors saw where the tumor was growing and gave medicine, but not always the right one. And so 5% people in the US are simply misdiagnosed. Now there's many improvements. With DNA sequencing can be done in several hours, much cheaper than it was in 1910, for example. And this information is great because it allows us to predict things, right? And so that's really useful in terms of treating disease. And since the 1980s, human genome looked to make good medicine more exact, something called precision medicine. So this is becoming more and more accurate since the 80s, and that's good to monitor our health, etc. And of course, with artificial intelligence and higher computing power, this will only get better and better. And so client's life was actually saved because he was treating accurately using precision medicine. That's how important it is. And with computer power more and more accurate in the future, this monitoring of health will only get better and better. So that's a plus. And for example, cancer cells, when treated with the CAR T cell therapy and checkpoint blockade therapy, that's actually pretty effective for cancer. So you can actually see these treatments only get better and better. So for example, that person in Thailand who had cancer was simply treated using the right approach. Now, another thing is personalized care. So we need to be personalized. Females are different than males. Females live longer. And also it's important because personalized medicine will tell us how to respond to drugs and what food to eat. We need to look at drugs and risk of death as not all respond in the same way. We treat based on genetic variants, not the location in the body. And so sequencing helps with treatment to know exactly what to do and how to treat a person because we're all unique. Also, we need to consider developing countries as there's genes and gut flora which may be different from where the drug was actually created. And so, as well as looking at the proteome and the proteins of every individual on top of the genetics can also help to better understand disease. Now, for long waiting times, it's a problem because in 2017 there was a study that showed that elderly wait a month before seeing a doctor, and more patients and doctors, and there's more patients and there's a doctor shortage, which is a big issue. And this is the problem, is that we see docs as the main people who send us to treatment or diagnose you. And in 1988-2006, there were many people waiting for neurology, in fact 6 times more, and each 10 minutes somebody needs it. So there's a big issue with the amount of people who need to seek treatment and a shortage of physicians. And so David Sinclair's brother actually got an eye transplant in his 20s and 30s from a deceased donor. But in 2000s, we will actually probably be able to use inkjet printers to literally create 3-dimensional layers of living tissue without having to rely on deceased donors. And Yang and Church actually also discovered gene editing in pigs to eliminate retroviral genes in pigs that would prevent organ donations, so to allow that to happen safely. So maybe we can do something like that in terms of gene editing in humans as well in the future to make this method simpler. And so either gene editing to make it safer, or actually using a printer which actually can create these living tissue without having to rely on deceased donors. And so that, combined with the fact that we're able to track our health much better, better sequencing tools and better accuracy with precision medicine, our future definitely looks a lot more bright.